Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have a problem with helping people. It's pretty bad. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Bora. I'm 20 years old and my parents are Turkish. I'm from Germany, but I'm studying in Scotland. But I right now am actually in London because I'm doing an au pair. So I'm everywhere pretty much. You can't escape me. And I'm kind of sick. I have done a COVID test, so it's not COVID. But I'm still pretty sick and I feel like my last brain cell has left me. So if I say some stupid stuff, just ignore it. Today I wanted to talk about my problem with helping people, because I love helping people, but it has kind of become a problem. I had that problem before, but through a lot of bad experiences, I let go of those habits, I thought. And then through all of the stress and through some stuff that I've experienced in my friend group and stuff, I had a relapse, if you can call it that. And I feel like you can, because my helper syndrome is pretty strong and it's my first initial reaction to stuff. And I always have to take a step back and actually work against it. So that has kind of relapsed in this last month. And I've been working on fixing that again and accepting that I have to help myself first before I can help other people. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Okay, so altruism and egoism are two opposite poles. And normally a good balance between both is something very healthy, because you have to take care of yourself and you have to think of yourself. Otherwise no one will think of you, because you're the main role in your movie and you're just a side role in any other movie. So you have to take care of your story. But at the same time, just being egoistic is very hurtful towards other people and towards your community, because we are communal creatures and we need each other to survive, pretty much. And you can see that in the way that we react to stuff, and we have to stick together to make it through. And that still goes even though we're not really in a survival mode. We people still have that in our psyche, and it goes back to that. So a good balance between altruism and egoism is something very important. And I have been very altruistic. And I'm not talking about this to praise myself. I'm talking about this because this is a serious issue that many of my friends and a lot of my family is struggling with. I've actually learned all of these habits from my family, because my family is very giving, and when someone has to take the L, it's always first my family before it's anyone else's. And I know from my mom that if someone has to take an uncomfortable seat, or if something has to be sacrificed, she's the first person to do it, instead of just being like, yeah, the other person. And there's a story that she told me where two guys are talking, and one of them says, if one of us has to die, it better be you than me. And I feel like in my family it's the complete opposite. And no matter what people say to you, you learn behavior through what you see. So that's how I grew up, and that is my first initial reaction. And I have to take a step back with pretty much everything and build new healthy habits, and I thought I did that. But what you have to keep in mind is this is a progress and an ongoing process, and you won't be cured in one day. And I have experienced so much toxic friendship in general, and I have had so much heartbreak, especially in friendship, that I thought I had been over that and I can take care of myself and stuff. But it's just not something that happens overnight, and sometimes those habits come back and you have to stop them. from taking over your life. I also always say that toxic attracts toxic and that healthy attracts healthy. So if you have a healthy mindset, you will attract exactly those people into your life. And if you have the feeling that you have to give in order to feel whole, you will attract exactly those people that constantly take. And I've done that in the past. It is so hurtful. But it's not about those people. We have a lot of egoistic people in this world, but we also have a lot of good people in the world. It's about how you behave that will either keep people in your life or not. And honestly, your life is always about you and how you deal with stuff. And if I have attracted toxic people, that is on me, not on them. Like, I don't care about them. I wish everyone the best, and I hope that even the people that hurt me will understand that I have good intentions, and I hope they will be happy in the future. Because if you're happy, you don't have the need to put other people down or to push them down and sabotage them. So I only wish people the best in life in general. But for myself, I have to cut some people off, and it hurts because I feel like I have a lot of love for everyone and I care a lot for everyone. So I don't want to cut them off, and I want to help people, but I can't do that on my own health. Like, I'm the one who's paying for that, and I can't always do that because I have to focus on my life, and it's really hard to do that, to keep the balance between helping other people and not. Also, I feel like I'm really good at helping other people, and you want to keep the stuff in your life that is making you happy, right? So I love helping other people, and that is making me happy. At the same time, if my battery is on an all-time low, I won't be able to help anyone really. And it's about that I have to figure out, definitely. And the irony is, I do love myself. Like, a lot of people that give don't love themselves enough, which I do think that I care about myself. Just, I don't know, I feel like I've gone through a lot, and I know that I can go through it again, and sometimes I just want to save other people or keep other people from going down the same rabbit holes that I've gone through. But what I have to tell my conscious mind is that that has made me strong. So you shouldn't take anyone's growing experience away from them or opportunity away from them, because it's the best for them to go through that so they can grow. But I don't want anyone to fall, because I don't want anyone to go through that pain. But the pain has brought me where I am right now. So it's a constant struggle, and that is something that I'm working on right now. And it's really not easy. It's also not easy to talk about this because you feel like you're praising yourself, but I'm really not. Like, I'm not a perfect human being, and I know that I'm hurting myself right now. I'm less happy that I have been 3 months ago, just because I've gone through the same bad habits that I had before, and I thought that I had taken care of them. And when I had that kind of relapse, if you may call it that, I had the feeling of being a failure, because I was like, did you not learn anything from the past? You've gone through so much, and you've built all of those habits, you've worked on it, and now you're taking a step back. Is that really what you're doing? But it happens, and you have to constantly fight it. And I talked to my mom about it, and she told me that that is something that I probably have to deal with for the rest of my life, just because your first initial reaction is the thing that you've learned as a child. And if you want to change your life, you have to build conscious new habits. But those will be a conscious thing even through years. It may be that your first initial reaction will be that child that has learned that helping other people is the most important thing, and that you come later on your priority list. And it's just very interesting how that can influence your life even when you're 20, 25, 30. And yeah, it is a constant struggle. Writer and content producer Hank Green once said that we're so obsessed with producing stuff and being productive that we forget that we produce our own happiness and that no one else can do that for us. And I feel like that is something that we should focus on more. It's about self-love, having habits regularly that take care of yourself and no one else, and time for yourself. I had a tarot session and a Ouija session, I think 2 weeks ago, and that was the moment when I realized that I hadn't done that for a really, really long time. Why I had read many and multiple tarots for other people. It's just about taking time for yourself and acknowledging that that is a struggle that you have to keep facing over and over again. And also boundaries. I didn't grow up with the word no. No is something that we just don't say in the Bora family, and it's really bad. No, saying no might be one of the hardest things that I have to deal with. When someone asks me, can I have a tarot? Can you cook something for me? Saying no is almost not an option, which it should be, right? You have no, maybe, or yes, or later, or whatever, but saying no, I almost never do that, because I'm like, oh yeah, I have definitely energy left for that. But maybe it's not about having energy left for that. Maybe I just don't want to in that moment, or I don't feel it, or another time could be better, but I just don't say no. And that is so toxic if you think about it. I take away one of my options just because of the way that I have been raised and because of the way that I think about life and about people. But people are adults, they're fine. Like, no one needs me that much. That is maybe even a bit self-centered to think that everyone needs me. Like, people are alright without me. They can deal without me. When they go home, they will be without me. And they're fine. I don't have to take care of everyone and anyone. I can take care of myself first. But that is not the way that my subconscious thinks. I feel like it has to do with a lot of discipline and control to suppress that first thought, to be like, okay, this is what I need, this is what I want. And also with friendships, I talk to my friend a lot, and she asked me what I want and who I want in my life. And that might sound really weird, but that was a change of thought. Oh, what do I want? It's not only about who needs me and who's not doing well right now, but it's also about who I want in my life and who would be there for me if I needed them. And surprisingly, it's not like you take care of so many people, but if you think about it, when you need a person, it's not that many people that you would call up and that you would feel understood with. So those people should be on top of your priority list, and the rest you can think about later. Just like you are not on top of their priority list, and that is completely fine. I guess what I'm trying to say to myself through this whole video is, you're not a failure, you're doing fine. Helper syndrome is something very normal, especially when you grew up like me. And it's not something that you either praise yourself with or you feel like you haven't succeeded enough. It's just something that you're dealing with on a daily basis. And it is something that I'm working on. And I feel like being transparent about that might help another person. I don't know. If this helped just one person, I will be very happy about that. And if you want to tell me what your experience is with all of that, if you can relate, then do that in the comments down below. If you have any suggestions for the next video, let me know as well. And if you feel lonely at any time, if you want to talk to someone, just hit me up on any social media, really. And see you in the next one. Bye.